Namaste and welcome to Live, Love, Engage. I am Gloria Grace Rand, and I am excited today because I have not one guest. I've got two guests on Live, Love, Engage. So I want to welcome first Eva La Cuz and Jennifer Ladd to our show. I'm glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Well, I'm really excited to have you share your story, and let me tell our listeners and viewers on YouTube a little bit about what piqued my interest. We actually met a little while ago through a publicity summit, and I thought, ooh, this story would be good. So Eva runs basically a clothing design company. You provide, they design special occasion dresses for newborns through 8 years old, and they're handcrafted in the United States, which is cool. And the designs are even named for family members, which is also nice. And I know that in doing research on her is that when she was a child, Eva actually dreamed of being a fashion designer and would draw sketches in a notebook in her home in Puerto Rico. But it took a little while for her to get to this place to be able to launch her clothing line. So I thought that's where we kind of start and say, what happened in the interim from when you were a child to, I guess it was 2017 when you finally actually launched your company. So please share with us why that was and what was going on.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I'm Eva La Cuz. I'm from Puerto Rico. I have 4 years, four kids, and always I dream in being a designer. Since I was a kid, and that is my dream, And finally, a lot of struggle. I passed through a lot of struggle in my life. And finally, I've been the owner of the Eva La Cuz clothing line right now. But before all that, when I was a kid, I have my notebook, and I draw a lot of designers, sketchers, and I saw in the TV a competition of the designer, and I one of the rules was I have to send some of the sketches I have to participate, and I sent it. But I made the error
Mistake.
mistake. They send my notebook all, and when I passed I think a month, my mom never know of that. Yeah, and when I someday my mom received a letter. So, the letter say that I win the competition.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, yeah, but the competition, I never know that that kind of competition was for 18 years old.
Oh,
I was just 12, 13 years old.
oh,
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was a national competition. It was like in this, middle of the day TV show program. So they do a lot of like competitions. And that day, my mom saw on the television scholarship for fashion designing, but maybe she was thinking it was something else. It was meant to be for, more, 18 years older.
right.
But then she was really excited because she had a book full of sketches and she really wanted to compete, and she actually won the competition. and got a scholarship, but my grandma didn't know. And that's when she received a letter and asked her, okay, what is this about? And of course, you're not going to the capital to San Juan by yourself at 13 years old. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. And that's
Nope.
like how her passion started. She started to be drawing on her notebook. The mistake that she says that she did is that she sent out her entire notebook, so she doesn't keep those memories of her first sketches.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like how her passion started. And it was, a passion sent by generations. It has been passing through generations. So her mother does sewing, and her grandma, so mother's mom, has also does sewing for the family, and none of them had any proper education. It has been by just watching them do clothing pieces for their families, in terms of providing them clothing in times of need. They couldn't afford new clothing from stores, so it's being out of necessity, but at the same time is a passion that they had shared. And my mom, being a third generation, so it's been incredible seeing that journey from that she tell us about how she dreamed of becoming a fashion designer into now becoming a business owner of one clothing line.
That's awesome. And I just realized, and thank you for probably clarifying it. So for those of you listening, I didn't say this at the beginning, is that Jennifer is actually Eva's daughter, and you actually
Yes.
work in the business too, right? What
Correct.
do you do? Because
So
it's
we
like your mom's
are.
maybe the designer. Do you do design too, or
Yes.
something else?
I wish I had the patience and talent. I am creative, but just in another way, as I was discussing yesterday with my mom. It's just like, the creativity comes into different ways. She does the designing part of things, and then I manage the business, from, marketing, finding creative ways to market her new clothing line for children's wear, and just finding, cool ways to show her talents, and designing unique designs for little girls. And it's everything handmade. So I help out with everything in terms of the business, which I'm really passionate about. And then my mom does the designing, sourcing for fabrics, and sketching, and actually making the full product from scratch to at the end, where you see it on the little girls, on her activity or baptism or birthday parties, you name it. And we have been starting the business. It has been a family business for over 3 years now.
That's awesome. So do any of your sisters or do you have brothers and sisters? Or you said 4 daughters, right? Was it?
Correct.
Yeah. So do any of your
Daughters,
sisters participate in the business as well? Is anybody else
yes.
designing maybe too?
It's been more us, but my other two sisters kind of play sometimes in the background. One of them likes, more like makeup and fashion, and just ways to really dress up nicely. One, she used to do modeling and compete in different pageant competitions back home in Puerto Rico, which my mom made a couple of her final competition dresses.
Yeah.
She does also photography, so she has helped us a little bit in taking photo shoots from our models.
Okay. Well, wonderful.
It's been something that we collaborate, and some
Yeah.
ask them for opinions as well, because overall is our family. If we don't ask them, they may just share it anyways, their opinion. But definitely, we try to keep it, family oriented, and also just keep their fresh ideas also into consideration.
That's awesome. Well, now, so you said that, you kind of, in a sense, sort of lost all of those drawings when, sending them all to the competition. So since you weren't able to actually, take advantage of that scholarship when you were being too young, did that then sort of set you back? Is that why you maybe didn't necessarily pursue it when you, got done with school, or did just, life just sort of lead you on a different path? Can you share a little bit about that?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, just wondering, like, you didn't you wound up not really, it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you didn't necessarily pursue fashion too much after that initial competition that you were in. So what did you wind up doing after, and why did it take you until, just a few years ago to really get into doing?
When I graduated of high school, I went to the university and start to study no fashion designer. I start to I start a teacher
to
becoming a teacher, but I never finally the studies because I get married, and 3 years in the university I get married, and I have my first child, second child, and I never study designer, but in the apartment I live, I start to sewing little dresses for my daughters. We live in Germany, that Jennifer born in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I sewing a little dresses for my girls and others, other girls around in the church I've been. And, but just that.
And also, she was moving around, just to add to that, because my dad was in the army, so we had moved to different stations, and one of them was Germany, which she stood there for like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
We lived there, and that's where I was born. And just the moving and having one place to be established, and then dedicating herself to her family, that's kind of like what made that dream kind of like put it on hold, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Yeah, because you're raising a family, and that I think happens with a lot of women sometimes, is that, we take some time to do that, to take care of our family. And then as our children grow up, then it gives us a chance to start saying, okay, well, what do I want to do now? Because they're off living their lives, hopefully, and it gives us a chance to kind of take some stock again. So was there maybe something that triggered where you decided to say, you know what, I want to go back and pursue this fashion design? Was there maybe some event or something that sort of sparked that for you?
Well, I've been from Puerto Rico and moved to United States, Minnesota. Right now, we live in Minnesota, and my first reason for being here was my son. He has special need, looking for a better education, for a better health for him. That's the first reason. And when I 3 years ago, when I see that he was stable mentally and physically, my daughters told me, Mom, why you don't start a business doing sewing, because you are so talented. And well, I thought of that, and I maybe in the future. One day came in the morning, and I thinking of that, and I say inside at me, well, this is the time. This is the time to get the first step to start my own business clothing line. And the support of my daughters, I started, and we already my other daughters, Jennifer, we make a meeting, and we talk and building the first things of the business, because we didn't know about that, and we start educating, especially Jennifer, and looking for resources to educate it and start find a name for the clothing line, what I have to do to register the business.
Right.
All things that tienen que ver con.
Oh, yeah, I had to be involved with the business because I don't have any business background, or she doesn't have any fashion background. It's been like grow from the passion and talent from my mom. So it's been a learning curve, and that was something that she really wanted to start, slow to see how things goes. And we kind of like started that way. We say, yes, we support you. And the three sisters got together to kind of like start planning and setting up goals for the business. And we started it, with an Etsy shop on Etsy, and then start building from there, all the way to, build our own website, and to even participated last year at the New York Fashion Week. So that was really amazing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know that, well, I'm a big fan of Project Runway. I will tell you that, and the other one making the cut now, I guess is the other one too. And I know that this is a dream of so many people to be able to get to show their clothing at New York Fashion Week. This is a really big deal. So congratulations, number one, and number two, how did you wind up doing that?
It wasn't planned. We only had like 3 weeks or 2 weeks to send out all of our designs, and it worked out. And I said it was because God opened those doors for us. We are, believers of that, and how everything has worked out for us. It was just at the perfect moment, perfect timing. It wasn't anything planned, really. We are part of a group coaching that is a Fashion Angel Warrior from Christine Dahl. She's located in New York, and the pandemic, it was really hard for us to really like decide, okay, there is not a lot of special occasions being celebrated, and that's kind of like we dedicate our line to create handmade special occasion gowns. Now what do we do? And we decided to spend some time and money, invest in our knowledge, in ourselves. So we kind of hire Christine Dahl, and she has over 15 years plus of experience in the fashion industry, and she educates us on in terms of how to build your own clothing line from the beginning, the right steps, and it's great information that she provides. And she also invites other resources too, and she interviews them on her Facebook group. And from there it kind of like grow our interest into flying solo, which they highlight international, and national independent designers. And we've always been interested in that. They have a location in New York where, you rent a space on their store and have an online store as well. And I had always think about that would be nice if we can just, rent a space on that store, but it didn't happen at the moment.
Yeah.
Then later on, I learned that they run a New York Fashion Week show. And they just exactly that. They just highlight, specifically independent designers. I had emailed them before a long time ago that I was interested in having a space in their store. And they had emailed us, like I said, 3 weeks ago, saying a fashion designer had canceled their participation to the Fashion Week. Would be interested. And that just came out of nowhere. and I didn't know, I wasn't going to say no. I was like, and then I'm sitting like, okay, what are we going to do now?
Right.
And then I told my mom, but I just wanted to confirm that, yes, they're okay for us showing children's wear. They're okay with us showing the specific designs that we had. And what I said that it worked out is because we were going to launch during the pandemic, before the pandemic happened, a new collection. But we hold it until the end of the year to launch it. Because of the everything was closed down, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. And besides, the learning thing, we were going to be, launching at the end of the year of 2020. And we actually ended up launching the new collection at the New York Fashion Week. So it definitely worked out. We haven't launched it yet. We had a new collection ready, photos ready, photo shoot ready, and we just haven't published it yet. And then this opportunity came out, And that's when we decided that it was the best timing to launch it.
I love that.
It
And
was a awesome experience for us.
oh, I can only imagine. And there's a lot of lessons here that I just want to make sure that everyone listening is aware of, because there's a couple things that you did. Number one is you hired a coach, to get support and to help you to fill the gaps in the knowledge that you didn't have, which is so important for people, especially, when you're launching a new business, whatever type of business it is. So I, commend you for doing that. And then the other thing is that you took action, and you were sending out emails and things even before you knew what could happen, and then you were just ready to say yes to opportunities when they presented itself. And I love how somebody dropped out and then you were able to step in, and that's so wonderful. And I think that is because you were putting yourself out there, and you were taking advantage of opportunities. And I do think, God and, or even whatever else you believe out there. But I do think that, I like to say that it's divine timing, and that things happen for the right time, and that God is also watching out for us. And they see that you're taking action, the right steps, and things can move around to help you move even faster. So that's wonderful. What have you found to be maybe the biggest challenge in this that you've then been able to overcome in launching this business?
Well, I think the finances. Yes, yeah, because running a business included that. Sometimes it's not easy to get the money we need to run the business. Yeah.
So how did you,
Yes.
what did you do to be able to accomplish that? Did you have to get like a business loan or things like that? And
yeah, besides putting ourselves, together and kind of like support her on her dream, kind of like the sisters got together for that. And as well, she has been doing a lot of different projects or special requests in the community as well. So she does a lot of alterations for bridesmaid dresses too. So that's a source of income that we can generate something, and I use it in towards of the business. Everything that we sell too, we just put back in the business. So definitely everything involves money these days. Again, it's not impossible. I don't want this to believing in yourself and making a dream happen. It may just take longer for some people, which has definitely taken longer for us to really accelerate the process of, building this business and growing it. But we are not giving up. We're still here after over 3 years. And it has been a slow grow, but we're taking one step at a time. And with how we can, financially, that's how we're making things happen.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's the right way to go about it, is to just keep going there. But I will, I'll make a recommendation to you. If you pick up a book called Profit First, and it's by a man named Mike Michalowicz, which is a very long name. But I read that book several years ago, and even now my daughter, who also started her own business, kind of follows some of this, some of his methodology. But one of the things he talks about, the important thing to do is when you're building a business, that you should still take a small part of what you're, the profits that you make, or actually from the revenue, and set that aside in a separate account. And because you want to take your profit first, even if it's only 1%, but just to be able to have that money set aside, so that that's, that you're actually being able to benefit, and to enjoy the fruits of all of the hard work that I'm sure that you all are putting into it. But if you just keep putting all the money back into the business, sometimes it can be, you get to a point where you might burn out, and it's like, why am I doing this if I don't ever get to enjoy the money? So I encourage you to check that out and start.
Okay, thank you for the
Thank
recommendation.
you.
Yeah, put a little bit aside. It doesn't have to be much, but just eventually you can increase it. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. What would be, before we kind of close this out today, what's been the most the thing you've liked best about this journey that you've been on? What's been, and for both of you, what's sort of been your favorite thing about launching this business?
When we received the reviews from the moms by the dresses, reviews told us the wonderful, the happy they are with the product, and that satisfies us.
Yeah,
I will agree with that, because you put so much effort and work and time, and my mom as well, designing and just coming up with, a product, and she loves, creating something new from a fabric into an idea into a product. So having the satisfaction from moms or godmothers or aunts when they order these dresses, and then they just find that it's like super great quality. And we kind of know these things, but it's just a good thing that they are telling us, because it's reassurance that we're doing something good.
Absolutely.
Great path. And if we always ask for honest feedback, and so far has been great, but we're always open to listen to any suggestions or anything that they may just have to say about the products. But so far it's been great, and they had definitely liked my mom's unique designs, because the designs are made for appropriate to their age, and that's something that the moms will look at our designs if they're looking something like that. And also, if it's high quality, if it's unique, and that's kind of like why they shop for our clothing line. And reading those reviews just give us a really great feeling that, hey, we're in the right path.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know it's always nice to hear good things, to know that you're doing well. So that's awesome. And I've looked at your website, and yeah, the dresses really are beautiful. I don't have any little girls in my life at the moment. My little girl is all grown up, so I'll have to wait. Maybe someday I'll have grandchildren, and then I can look you up again. So, which brings me to letting people know who might be interested and want to look at your clothing and to see what you all have to offer. Where can they contact you? What's the website?
Absolutely. You can find us at www.evalacuz.com. So that is EVALACUZ as in zebra.com. And you can find us like that too on Etsy. We still have our Etsy shop open. A lot of customers, they still prefer, to buy us through Etsy. So that's still available, another venue that you can find us. And we're also on social media. We're active on Instagram and Facebook the same way at Eva La Cuz. So you can find us and follow us, like our page, and follow our journey. We share a lot of things that doesn't have to only do with the products, or the business. We also share my mom's journey, how she started behind the scenes. So just feel free to search and like our page, or if you have questions, you can also email us at info@evalacuz.com.
Awesome. Well, I will be sure to put all of that information in the show notes so that people can get in touch with you. But I really do appreciate you taking time out of your morning to be with us today and to share your story. And I wish you much success in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I thank all of you out there listening and watching, and I really appreciate you. And I'd love to hear your comments as well. And we've actually just got a couple new ones on Apple, so it's nice to hear that. And yeah, and until next time, I encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.